Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Olga. As you know, I create t-shirts and hoodies with magic powers. The magic
Yeah.
powers I'm offering my talented customers, women out there, is positive thinking today. And I'd like to ask Olga to introduce herself and her business and tell us how positive thinking can be applied to what she does. Hello?
Yeah. Hi, Mara, and thank you so much for having me. So, everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Olga Muller. I'm a mindset coach, and I help women to reconnect to their inner power, really unleash their full potential so that they can create a life that they love on their terms with unshakable confidence. And I love the topic of, positive thinking because it plays such an important role when it comes to, reconnecting to ourselves. Um, what I really, what I think is really important is like, I don't like this positive thinking that is being kind of sometimes used as just like, oh, just think positive thoughts.
No,
Like
no, no, no.
everything, is great,
Yeah.
you know, everything is going well, all this BS, because this is just like, nobody of us, I think, ever feels, or everybody of us, better said, struggles with certain thoughts when, like, for example, I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, or, thinking that I don't have what it takes, or who am I to start a business? Who am I to go for the promotion? And so just, this positive thinking that is sometimes, just being used, it's just like, oh, just, tell yourself that I'm great, or everything will be fine. It just won't get you anywhere. But what I think is really important for everybody out there to first realize is that our thoughts are so potent. They are really so powerful, because 80%, I think, of our thoughts that we think on a daily basis, 80% of them, I think, are negative.
Negative. Yeah. It's so easy to think
And
negative.
yes, and I mean, just everybody watching, think to yourself, when you woke up this morning, or maybe when you walked into the bathroom and had a look at yourself, what was the first thought that you thought?
Yeah.
Was it
Yes,
like,
for sure. It
oh,
was like,
hello,
yeah, I'm
gorgeous?
starting the day, never. And
Exactly.
it's for everyone. I mean, we know we share this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like usually, I mean, for me, a couple of months ago, I actually did a personal kind of little experiment where I literally was journaling for a week and literally just writing down my first thoughts in the morning,
Yeah.
because it was a time where I felt really stressed in the morning, like nothing had happened, I felt, and I was already so stressed. And so when I did this exercise of just like, you wake up and literally you open your eyes and you notice like, what is your first thought? I realized to myself that my first thoughts were always like, I have to, oh my God, I have to get my son ready
Yeah.
for kindergarten. I have to get this done. I have to.
Yeah.
And I was really shocked by it. Or, at other times, like I mentioned, when you go to the bathroom, for example, or you just look at yourself in a mirror and you just start to become aware of like, what are some thoughts that are going through your mind. It's like I would be always checking for like, okay, what are the irregularities, where are the blemishes, what is like the
Yeah.
negative
It's the
stuff.
worst moment to look at yourself in the mirror, actually, in the morning.
Yeah, but why is that?
Yeah.
Why don't we just go and go into the bathroom thing, like just smile at yourself, and be like, hey, yes, maybe you're tired, you look tired, but still, you're beautiful. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I found out, or I read some statistic that only 2% of women feel beautiful or think that they are beautiful.
Yeah.
2%.
Sadly. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
our thoughts contribute to that. Whatever we focus on, whatever we think about, actually becomes our reality. Because
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
is our way of training our brain to really tell it, what matters, what is important, what does our brain need to scan more of? And when 80% of our thoughts are already negative, our mind is always picking those negative things, even though you're doing a great job at work, even though you're really, busting your ass at your business, even though, you're trying to be the best mom that you can, even though you're, giving everything to be like a great wife and a great friend. And, those thoughts, our habits of just like always focusing on those negative things, what is wrong with us, where we're not living up to somebody else's expectations. It is just like diminishing our self-esteem, our confidence. And this is ultimately the reason why we're not taking the, leap of faith, why we're not speaking up in the conference room, or why we're not, daring to maybe move somewhere. Or
and we start procrastinating, especially in business. Because we are scared basically of failure, because we already thought negatively of what can happen. So we have to retrain definitely our brain. And of course, you tell us there are techniques, tricks to help our brain start positive thinking. Exactly. It's not natural.
You're absolutely
it's definitely not natural. And I never believed when they say, okay, do you see the glass half empty or half full? No, what does it mean? Some days like that, some days like the other, but the positive thinking is practice, is not like you are, or what you learned in life. No, it doesn't matter. There are even, we normally compare ourselves to others. This is also very natural. And if we see other women very successful, we tend to think that they have the positive thinking ingrained in their brain. It's not true. Even they have doubts, and they see the cup half empty sometimes.
Yes,
so totally.
And I think sometimes, and you're right. So the thing that is stopping us is then like we start to go back into this habit of like just thinking, okay, what is wrong? What do I not have? What am I still lacking?
Etc. mindset.
Yes, and the thing that we need to realize about it first is like just become aware that you have learned this. There is a reason why you are thinking those thoughts. You weren't just born thinking like, oh my God, I'm so ugly, I can't never do anything, I can't start the business. No, when you were born, you were like just enjoying life. Like you're completely fine. You weren't self-critical or anything. And so just realizing this in the first step is like, we have learned this, and that means that we can unlearn it. We can unlearn this negative thinking, and we can learn, let's say, the positive thinking, the more empowered way of thinking. Because I guarantee everybody who's listening or watching, it's like you will find maybe 10 deficits about yourself, but you can just as easily find 10 really strong, powerful things about yourself if you give yourself the permission to do that.
Exactly.
And if you allow yourself to actually feel proud of yourself and recognize, all the things that you have done. Because it's funny that you mentioned, sometimes when we look at other women and their stories and they're doing things that we secretly really want to do as well, we think, oh my God, she's such an inspiration, or she's so courageous. And you're right. She was like, those were tough moments for that person as well.
Yeah.
And in the end of the day, everybody of you has the same, courage or strength inside of you. It's just like you need to give yourself the permission, because ironically, I think it's around like 85% or so of women actually don't feel comfortable about talking about their own achievements.
We find not celebrating even small wins. We forget to celebrate, while even a small failure is like, oh my goodness, I'm thinking about it for days. But I learned, for example, it's nice that you mentioned journaling. It was so life-changing. I used to do it when I was a teenager. You know, it was more the diary of the desperation. But I started again, and it's true. You start with the negative, and maybe it is, along the way, you can see that it picks up and gets better. And writing it down, it's so powerful. That's why for me it's so important to have something written that I can even touch, because it has this like power to to give you permission, the permission you were talking about, to have to see something else and not always only the negatives. No, definitely, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think, for example, the work that you do, if you wear, you know, let's say a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or whatever it is that you wear, that it has like a positive statement on it, that you would like to actually, let's say, become more comfortable with yourself or remind yourself daily. I think this is a great way, because you look at yourself or in the mirror, or you know what is written on it. It's like a constant reminder. And so it's such a simple way actually for yourself to reminding yourself, hey, you know, when you get into a situation again where you're maybe automatically going down the path of, you know, criticizing or judging yourself, and you have a reminder that it's like positive thinking, you know, just like snapping you back.
Yeah, exactly. It's a reminder. It's a constant reminder. I mean, and sometimes you have family or friends reminding you, but it has to be more constant than that, no? And as I said, with practice, you start repeating yourself, then it will come natural, or at least a bit quicker than it used to.
Yeah, and I think the journaling is also like a very nice technique, you know, for everybody who wants to start with something. I would say, first of all, start by just little by little working on your level of awareness. And what do I mean by it? It's just like become an observer of your thoughts. You know, the next time you might, maybe it's a tough conversation at work, or, you know, maybe some argument with your kids, just try to really observe, just hold still and observe, like, what has just happened? What was going on through my mind? And just literally either write it down or just become aware in that moment, just to, you know, it will help you in the next time it will happen, and it will happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Until you really practice it, you know, it will help you to snap out of the situation, and you will notice what is actually controlling you. Like I mentioned, for me, I was not aware that every morning I wake up and I think already like I must, obligation, and which explained why, you know, just 10 minutes being awake with the new morning, I'm already at a stress level that I don't want to be at. And then, because once you become aware, then you can start to take control of it and start steering it into a different direction. And journaling definitely is a way of helping, because when you're journaling, it's just, you know, you start with something that you actively thought about, but then if you just allow yourself to just go with the flow, things will come out that you've been probably trying to suppress or to avoid. And the less you actually think, the more truth will come out. And then you can look at it and feel like, this is what I really thought. Like, really? It doesn't make any logical sense. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't even want to think that way, you know? And then when you get to that moment, then you can make a new decision. Then you can make a new choice. And little by little, you know, there is no magic solution, but little by little, you will work on your level of awareness, and you will actively be able to, you know, tell your mind, like, literally, you know, this is maybe what I used to think before, but I choose right now to believe in myself. I choose to feel great about myself. I choose to, you know, just give myself permission to try this out. I just give, you know, I choose, like, use the statement of like, I choose to feel or think a certain way, and literally give your mind instructions on what you wanted to focus on. I think another great practice is also gratitude practice. Because this really naturally steers steers your mind into like a very positive situation. And gratitude is actually like a very, very strong and powerful emotion. And, you know, it's just so easy. In the morning when you wake up, you know, you can be grateful that, hey, you have another day to live here. Or you can just maybe look at your partner or your child, or even if you're by yourself, you can be grateful that you got to sleep in a comfortable bed, that you have this apartment or this house or whatever. Or in midday, you know, maybe if you had, I don't know, some challenging tasks, maybe some difficult meetings, or just things were not going this way that you wanted, you know, just be grateful for the little things. Maybe there was a person on the street or in the subway that, you know, smiled at you. Okay, now with the mask, it's a little bit difficult to see, but you see it in the eyes still.
You see the eyes,
and
yeah.
when the mask is gone, that you will also see the smile, but, you know, you feel this kind of from people. Or maybe somebody was nice to you at a cafe or whatever it was. Maybe you just had 5 minutes to drink and enjoy your coffee, whatever that was. There are so many things that we can be grateful for. And if you make it a regular practice, you know, you will feel the emotional and energetic difference also.
Yeah.
And this will then allow you.
Yeah, we think, I mean, we consider a lot of things or emotions that we live like given. And we never step out of ourselves to look from the outside. From the outside, it's easier to put labels on, to feel more comfortable and in control, because it's only if we call the things with their name that we can manage them, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so tell me what would be a 2 words combination or 3 words combination that you would proudly wear, and it could be a good reminder for you, your business, your core values.
I think, and I mean, this is ultimately my mission, to really help every woman to just show up, being able to show up in their life like unapologetically like themselves, to really, you know, go out there at life and do things because you feel great about it, because this is what brings you joy, this is what is fun to you, this is where you feel the most free and most natural version of yourself without all those labels and limitations. So I think definitely one of the things on my top list would be unapologetically me.
Yeah, I love this. I really love this. It's so liberating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel everything that we also talked about a little bit today, it's like those thoughts of like, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not beautiful. Like I mentioned, it's just learned, and it's holding us back from really showing up as our true selves, and it keeps us in a box where we're not gonna be happy in the end, where you always feel restrained, and that you always have to, you know, put up a certain mask or persona, caring more about will other people, you know, will this be okay for other people, will they accept me for that, will they still love me if I do that? But really just go through life with like, yes, this is me. Like, look at me. This is me. I freaking love myself. And, you know, I just show up to live out what I care about, what I truly believe in, where, you know, the gifts that I want to share. So this is why, you know, I also loved your personal story. It's just like you are following what you feel, you know, matters to you.
Yeah.
And you do it so beautifully. And so I want everybody to feel like this way about themselves.
Yeah. Totally.
No shame, nor guilt.
Also because it seems like then, like magic, a lot of doors open, because if you show yourself for what you are, I mean, everyone around you magically seems to think like that, but it's not magic, of course. You start attracting only people like-minded people. And it's so amazing, because then you start feeling the networking, the support, the acceptance, validation, all positive. And but yeah, we definitely have to step out of the shell to enjoy this. And yeah, it takes time. I mean, as you said, no magic solution, but it's
No.
possible, especially if we are guided by a coach. I am a great advocate of coaching, definitely, because we cannot believe that the coach gives us answers, but is a guidance towards our own answers. We are so different and so unique that we need to get there by ourselves. And yes, so definitely, I think your work is so much needed nowadays. So for the life we live and the needs and we face and challenges we face every day. So thanks a lot for this lovely chat. It was very, very enjoyable. I'm sure everyone will take the positive vibes of this. And
I hope so.
For sure. And thanks again. And thank you everyone for being here, and see you next week.
Yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you, Mara.